Hello, Facebook family. This is Willie Robertson again. It's Tuesday, January the 28th, 2020. And while I'm thinking about that, the 2020, I was listening to a minister. I can't remember who he was last week, and he touched upon something that I never thought about. But 2020, that's a significant number. It's amazing. We go to the eye doctors, and I think it's when they say you have 2020 vision, that's supposed to be pretty darn near good or perfect vision. So this could be a good year to have a good vision for your reaching your goals and your dreams. I know I'm setting out to do mine, and at the beginning of the year, I was thinking of things I could share with people. I'm trying to do videos now. I'm here on Facebook Live and also on YouTube, just to try to help people. That's all I'm wanting to do as I help myself. But so I've been sharing some of the strategies that I learned way back in the late 90s. A guy that I consider my mentor, a guy named Dale Calvert, I give all the credit to him for getting me on the road of self and personal development, because up to that point, I never knew anything about it. I mean, I went to church and stuff, but back then in the late 80s and, well, late 70s and early 80s, the churches I was going to, nothing, I ain't trying to say blame or fault anybody, but I wasn't learning a whole lot from them guys. I guess they were only teaching what they knew, you know. It wasn't helping me out a lot, but I knew I wanted to be successful. So long story short, the Lord put people in my path that helped me along the way. I'm still not where I want to be, but I thank God I'm not where I was, and I'm on the path to getting where I want to go. So I started, I think it was about the first week of January of 2020, sharing some things and strategies that someone taught me, like I said, Dale Calvert, on how to set goals and things. And I know in January of New Year's, it's like we get a clean slate. Everybody considers that's a clean slate. They didn't reach their goals last year or previous year, so they figured January in the new year they can start over. And that's well and good. So you need to set your goals properly, though. And that's why so many people miss our goals. We don't set a proper foundation. Nobody ever taught us. We just go gung-ho, which is good. You got to take action. But if you go on a trip, you're not going to just get on the road. You may, but you ain't going to end up anywhere fast. And like I hear Dr. Ivy Hilliard always say, where there's clear vision, there's acceleration to the goal. In other words, if there's foggy outside, you're going to slow down, hopefully, because you don't know where you're going. You can't see your clear vision. But if it's a clear road ahead and you know where you're going, you'll get there a lot faster and smoother. So I've been sharing strategies with you. I encourage you to go back through my timeline. I got some good videos there of one of them's called, the first one I think I started out with was 20 reasons, 10 reasons, 3 reasons, top 3 reasons. And then I started sharing books. And like I said, a lot of these, thank God for Mr. Dale Calvert. He's the one that got me started on this, man, the personal development. The guy was big on it, and he became a multi-millionaire. And to tell you how big Dale was on personal development, this guy cracked me up. If you ever hear him, he's country talking, but he has a heart of gold. Back in the 80s or whatever, before they had just started coming out with CD players in cars. But most cars up to that point had, if they had any kind of tape player, it was just player. And Dale had started making big money, and so he went out and bought him, I think it was a Dodge Viper, big yellow car, man. It was nice. And it had a CD player in it. Dale, he tells this story. He said he told the guy, I'm not going to buy this car unless you put a cassette player in there for me, because he had tons of cassette like I do. I had, back in the day before CDs, everything was on cassette. I was buying them left and right, spiritual cassettes from my spiritual mentors and personal secular cassettes. But Dale had him take out that CD player and put in a cassette player so he could continue with his personal development. That's how important it was to Dale. But the guy he's gold, man. I tell you, he's gold. But anyway, so he got me started on this a journey of personal development. I always had a desire of wanting to do great things in my life. My mom raised me and my 7 sisters, and it wasn't like she was rich, but she did teach us about God, and I'm so grateful for that. But anyway, so today Well, first of all, like I said, go back in my timeline. You'll see the other previous videos before this, and I'm gonna try to stay on track with this. That's my goal, because I want to help people, man. I really do. And so I've been sharing some of the books that Dale shared with us and told us to read. And also in that company, he had what was called the Tape of the Month Club, and you didn't have to. They didn't force you to be in it, but if you was wanting to grow, he would encourage you to be in it. And it was a lot of get Dale's good training and teachings and other teachings. He was big with Zig Ziglar and Jim Rohn. Those were a lot of the people that he followed and learned from. But anyway, today's book is called The Magic of Believing, and it's by, I don't think you can see that, Claude Bristol. You can't see that. By Claude Bristol. And I just checked, and it is on available on Amazon as well as Audible. And I also have it on my, oh, darn it, you would go do this. I just set up and I hit the button. Okay, there we go. I also have it on my, there it is. I just go Believing by Claude. And that was The Wealth Choice by Dennis Kimbrough. I think that's what it is. I just started listening to that this morning. I was taking a bath. That's got some gold nuggets in it too. I'll be reviewing that in a few weeks. But anyway, so I got the hard copy. I usually try to have a hard copy of the books I'm reading as well as Audible version or CDs. So The Magic of Believing is one of the another book Dale taught us about doing some of his trainings. And like I said last week, Cybernetic, which is big on, was talking about Maxwell Mouse. He was teaching on self-image, well, magic of believing. And your mind has so much to do with your reaching your goals. I had been thinking about this. I'm like, Lord, what should I call these? And I was like, well, I do them on Tuesdays. I might switch to Mondays and call it Mindset Mondays or whatever, you know. And I was looking up to see if I don't want to be stealing nobody else's name or whatever. You know how people are crazy anymore. So all I know is this mindset motivation. You have to get your mindset right. And all these negative stuff going on in our lives, man, this political climate that we're in, the racial climate, and it's ridiculous, man. It's unnecessary. And I tell you what, when Kobe Bryant died the other day, it's amazing how many people that affected, man. I was not necessarily a fan of Kobe, but when I saw that on my feed, my homepage on the internet, man, it brought me near tears. I'm like, that young man, you don't wish death on anybody, man. Death is final. But he lived up to that point. The dude was living his dream life. I'm sure he was, and had reached many of his goals. So that's another thing you need to consider. Are you doing what you want to do? Don't live your whole life and then get to the end of it and die and go to grave and you get before the Heavenly Father's throne. I didn't reach my goals. Well, did you try? Did you do what really said to do? But anyway, so I'm just encouraging you to reach for your goals and dreams. Go back to my timeline and listen to some of those lessons that I had there so you can learn your proper foundation of reaching your goals. Don't just go reaching for them and go out there without a blueprint or proper foundation, because you're not going to reach them if you go that way. I've done it that way, and it was frustrating. So let me get out that soapbox. Let me go over some of the chapters in this book, and then I'll end this video. The contents is chapter 1. I'm stupid, y'all. How I came to tap the power of belief. Chapter 2, mind stuff experiments. Chapter 3, what the subconscious is. Chapter 4, suggestion is power. Chapter 5, the art of mental pictures. Chapter 6, the mirror technique for releasing the subconscious. Chapter 7, how to project your thoughts. Chapter 8, women in the science of belief. And chapter 9, belief makes things happen. And I started reading this book years ago, and up here in chapter 6, the mirror technique for releasing the subconscious. I did that for a minute, man. I mean, basically what it is, you look at yourself in the mirror, and if you can't look at yourself, then you got some issues, you know. But I would look at myself, and at first I was nervous. I ain't gonna lie, like, but it's you, Willie. Well, anyway, I got over it, and I started saying positive affirmations to myself as I was looking at myself in the mirror, and it's amazing what that does for you. So anyway, again, the book is called The Magic of Believing. It's by Claude Bristol. Go on Amazon, you can get it, or get it on Audible, or get both, a hard copy and then get the CDs and stuff. So I hope this is helping you guys. I'm gonna keep sharing as much as I can. Keep me encouraged, you know. Comment, whether you get value or not. Just comment. Don't cuss me out or whatever, because I come back on you. Anyway, and check me out on YouTube. I put these up on YouTube also. So share anything good that you have. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. God bless you. And we will see you again next week, prayerfully. Thank you.